Hope, the most insidious of illusions. It is a poison that seeps into our minds, convincing us that something better awaits us if only we persevere. But what is hope, really? A desperate cry into the void, a refusal to accept the truth of our condition. Hope is the cruelest tormentor because it feeds on our need to believe that suffering has meaning, that life is more than an endless series of disappointments. We are trapped in this cycle. We hope, we struggle, and in the end, we are left with nothing. The future is a barren landscape, stretching out infinitely before us, and yet we are told to press on, to continue the charade. What awaits us at the end of this road? Another failure, another loss, another realization that everything we clung to was a lie. They tell us that hope is the foundation of human existence. It's what drives us, what keeps us moving forward. But forward to where? To what? Hope blinds us, keeps us tethered to a future that will never deliver on its promises. It fills our minds with delusions of purpose, of progress, of fulfillment. But when we strip away the facade, what do we find? Nothing. Emptiness. The void. And yet, we cannot let go of it. Hope is too deeply ingrained in the human spirit. Even as we suffer, even as we are crushed under the weight of existence, we cling to hope as if it were our only salvation. We chase after dreams that will never come true, love that will never last, happiness that is always just beyond our reach. We are prisoners of hope, and the chains are unbreakable. But what if we were to abandon it? What if we were to face the truth without flinching, without retreating into the comforting arms of hope? What would be left of us? Can we bear to live without illusions, to exist without the false promise of a better tomorrow? For most, the answer is no. The truth is too unbearable. And so, we continue to deceive ourselves, to grasp at the illusion of hope because the alternative is too terrifying to consider. Hope distracts us from the reality of our situation. It creates the illusion of progress, that if we endure long enough, things will change. But change for what? Each day bleeds into the next, a monotonous repetition of the same empty gestures, the same hollow routines. And yet we convince ourselves that tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow will bring meaning to the meaningless, joy to the joyless. But tomorrow never comes. To hope is to be a fool. To hope is to reject reality in favor of a comforting lie. Hope is what keeps us shackled to this miserable existence, unable to confront the truth of our insignificance. It lures us with promises of redemption, of salvation, but it delivers only more despair. And yet, we cling to it because we have nothing else. Without hope, we are forced to confront the abyss that lies within us, the cold, uncaring universe that surrounds us. And so, we distract ourselves. We create stories, we build empires, we invent meaning where there is none. We cling to hope because it is the only thing that makes life bearable. But it is also what prevents us from seeing the truth. We live in denial of our inevitable end, of the futility of our desires, of the fact that nothing we do matters in the grand scheme of things. Hope keeps us from understanding that we are nothing more than a brief flicker of consciousness in an indifferent cosmos. But if we let go of hope, if we allow ourselves to see the world as it truly is, what then? There is no comfort in despair, no solace in the truth. And yet, there is a certain freedom in it. To abandon hope is to abandon the false narrative that we have been fed all our lives. It is to embrace the void, to accept that there is no grand purpose, no higher meaning. And in that acceptance, there is a kind of peace. For when we stop hoping, we stop struggling. We stop yearning for something more, for something better. We stop being disappointed by life's inevitable failures. To give up hope is to give up the fight, to recognize that the game is rigged from the start. There is no winning, no salvation, no escape from the human condition. But there is freedom in understanding that it was never meant to be otherwise. In abandoning hope, we stop living for tomorrow, and we begin to see life as it truly is, empty, yes, but also free from the burdens we place upon it. When we give up hope, we stop asking for life to be something it is not. We stop demanding that it give us meaning, that it provide us with happiness. Life owes us nothing, and in that nothingness, there is liberation. But this is a bitter truth. Most cannot face it, and so they continue to hope. They continue to chase after the illusions that keep them bound to this endless cycle of suffering and disappointment. But for those who can face the truth, for those who are willing to confront the void without flinching, there is a strange kind of solace in it. It is not a comfort born of hope, but of resignation. It is the realization that there is nothing more to strive for, nothing more to desire. And in that realization, there is an end to suffering. When we give up hope, we give up the expectation that life owes us anything. And in that surrender, we find peace. But this peace is not for everyone. It is not for those who still wish to dream, to believe in the possibility of something better. It is for those who have seen the world for what it is, who have looked into the abyss and found that there is nothing staring back. For them, hope is no longer necessary. They understand that life is what it is, nothing more, nothing less. Hope may sustain the masses, but for those who have truly